I am Abhijit and I am joined here with Kashish and Pariti. We are the PGPX class of 2025 and I am absolutely delighted to have Harsha Bhogle, the voice of Indian cricket with us.
PGPX you said, right?
PGPX class.
So you are the very seasoned, serious,
yeah,
proper guys. Don't indulge in scurrilous questioning and proper serious questioning, right?
We will try to.
Okay.
We will be having a short fireside chit chat with him where we'll be asking him questions from a range of topics. But but before we dive into the specifics, I just wanted to know that what is the first thing that strikes you every time you visit this campus? I mean that makes you nostalgic at the same time.
No, for me it's gratitude. That's why I mentioned it so often in the talk. For me it's gratitude for what this place did to me. Maybe as you get older, these feelings start to surface a lot more frequently as you look back and think about what could have happened, what could not have happened, given the choices we had when we were young, unlike the choices that exist at the moment. And the person who came in and the person who went out were different people. So that made a big difference.
I mean, I'm amazed that this thing has stuck with you for so long. But
it's not a bad thing to be, you know.
Yeah, okay. Let's formally start the session. So my first question is primarily related to cricket. Recently, the T20 World Cup was concluded and India finally ended its trot for ICC trophies. But along with that, two stalwarts of the game, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, took retirement from the T20 format. They are also in the latter half of their careers in the other formats of the game. So who do you think are the next poster boys of Indian cricket?
I think in T20 there's a lot. But T20s can be ephemeral. You can be in today, gone tomorrow because of the nature of the sport. But I love watching people like Abhishek Sharma. I like the fact that he's coming up, and I like the fact that he's not ignored his second skill, which is to bowl. Yashasvi Jaiswal's already being talked about outside of India. Shubman Gill will have to work very hard to be a 3-format player.
Yeah.
But he's a very special player. I foresee Ruturaj Gaikwad being a major star in one-day international cricket. Batting will never be an issue, and you can see how difficult it is in the fact that an absolutely world-class top-of-the-pops player like Sanju Samson isn't playing enough.
Sure.
But you'll get these. I like the fact that Riyan Parag has now become more ambitious.
Yeah, he has been selected in the
and he's come back. He's come back by going to his state team and doing a lot of hard work. The one thing you will notice is there are no free passes here. Every player who's come has earned the right to be here. But I'm more concerned about where the bowlers are coming from. And just as you talk about Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, there's an even bigger match winner, or a comparable match winner is a better expression, who is also now 37. Is there a replacement for Ravichandran Ashwin? How much are you going to play Bumrah?
True.
It's those issues, and I'd like to see a younger crop of fast bowlers coming through. 2 years ago I was very bullish, and then suddenly I couldn't spot any of them.
Yeah. Maybe the fitness concerns and all.
But that's up to you.
Yeah.
If you're a singer, you can't say nahi par gala kharab ho gaya. It's up to you to maintain that. If you want to be a great fast bowler, then you work your backside off on your fitness to ensure you're there.
Is the T20 format ruining the longevity of the players, of the bowlers?
But if T20 is the format you're playing, then T20 is what you're good at, no? There's this narrative about how T20 is diluting the sport. No, T20 is the messiah of our sport. If there is no T20, there is no cricket.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
True, and well, all of them are amazing players, and what you said earlier did strike a chord. Having a grateful heart does attract a lot of prosperity in life. So about cricket, if you had to select a player for the Indian cricket team, would you prefer somebody with ability or somebody with a good attitude?
If you come to this level, your talent is almost taken for granted. Unless you're a very, very special talent. But at this level, almost all of them are gifted. I mean, you look at Yashasvi Jaiswal, you go, wow, but it's not that Abhishek Sharma or Sanju Samson or the others are less gifted, or Riyan Parag. So after a while, you look at their work ethic, you look at whether they are in a position to maximize their talent. And you maximize your talent by being very clever about your preparation, by your work ethic, by ensuring that you're at your peak when you're actually going out to play a game. So that determines where your talent takes you. So if I saw two similar people, any day work ethic, any day. Because you'll start to see after a while, if you study sport, you must also study the people who didn't make it and wonder why they didn't make it. You'll see so many wow players and you say, "Par kya hua? Where did they go?" And you'll find inevitably the answer is work ethic.
That's true. I mean, even the best set of abilities without a good work ethic, they.
And that's going to happen to all of you as well, by the way. That's going to happen to all of you as well.
Yeah.
So young players playing the IPL today are getting wealthy very quickly. If you manage your placements well, you manage your grades well, you're going to do very well in life too. So you'll have a very similar situation. You'll be judged eventually over your career by your work ethic.
So it all comes down to discipline and work ethic.
Not only discipline, but ensuring that you're giving yourself the best possible chance to maximize your talent.
Absolutely.
I second that, sir. So my next question is on the rules of the game. If you get a chance to change or tweak one rule of the game, which rule would that be and why?
I don't know, it's interesting, man. A lot of people have different rules. Some people say take the leg by out of the game, which is an interesting ploy. In sense, why if the bowler has done very well and beaten the bat and hit the leg, then why should you get runs off that? So that's the one thing that's worth thinking. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with the way this game is going. Sometimes we like to tweak things because it's good to be seen to be tweaking them. But in the one-day game, we've made a lot of changes, and as a result, you cannot compare one era from another at all. So we have absolutely no way of knowing whether Virat Kohli is a better one-day player than Tendulkar, because the playing conditions were so completely different when the two were playing. So, but the rules, the laws of the game, as we call them, the laws of the game have stood for a long time.
True, sir.
I'd like a second bouncer most places.
Yeah, but sir, there has been a lot of chatter about the impact play rule that was implemented recently in the IPL, and they were.
It's spectator friendly. I don't like it very much, but it's spectator friendly in that you guys are sitting at home. There's an extra element of intrigue.
But it makes the game very inverted. I mean, very bad.
Okay.
I mean, 270 and 280s were being scored like. There was a proliferation of scores where 280 and 270 was being scored by, for example, Sunrisers.
But if you structured your team well and ensured that you always had eight batters in your side, come what may, you should still be able to play that kind of game.
Yeah.
And it's only 20 overs, remember? So even if you have 7 batters, I don't think people will go back and start playing differently if the impact sub goes away. They might consider, but I think we have gone quite far down that line. You see how Travis Head is playing in the other leagues around the world. He's playing the same way. So it's I mean, today number 8 has to be able to bat, so it's still okay.
That's why we won in the final, because South Africa didn't have a number 8, I feel.
They also had a number 7 who was batting one position too high. It's the first South African team in history where their bowlers didn't bat. If you see the history of South African cricket over the years, they've always had all-rounders.
Yeah.
Callis spoiled them. Because Callis always gave them 2 options, but one of the world's most underrated all-rounders was Sean Pollock. So you had Callis, you had Pollock, you had Klusener, you had Boyer, you had Simcox. Everyone batted. It was the first South African team I've seen where they just could not drop Marco Jansen.
Exactly.
As India could not for a long time drop Jadeja, because no one else batted at 7. And I think structurally they were a little weaker. They should still have won the final.
Yes. So my next question is related to sports management. There are a lot of my friends and my batchmates as well. I mean, they love to watch the pre-game analysis and the post-game analysis, and if they get a chance, they would love to make a career in sports management. And considering the rise in the number of leagues that is happening, for example, MLC in US and the South African Cricketing League, I mean, what is your suggestion to them? I mean, how can they go about it?
So what careers are we looking at in sports management? Are you looking at managing a team?
I mean,
the IPL is 2 months of a year.
2 months of a year.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but I can play in other leagues as well at the same time.
No, as a player or as a manager?
As a manager.
So in India at the moment, the franchises have more teams as well. So they get the few careers coming over there.
Yes.
But what is the sum total of careers in sports management in India? You don't want to get out of IIM Ahmedabad and be a player agent.
Yes.
You should aspire to have an agent for you. You should not want to be an agent. You can. I'm not degrading the profession,
yes,
but I'm just saying that you must aspire to becoming someone who needs an agent for help. Ideally, do it yourself. You won't need it. So
that's a very insightful.
So I don't know how many careers exist. If we had more leagues, so if you're in England, there's so many different sports, but Manchester United or Liverpool or City alone would employ so many people. We haven't got to that stage yet because we have only one league-driven sport really. It's starting in kabaddi and it's starting in volleyball and other sport, and that lasts 2 months. I don't know. I think if you love sport, you must be a product manager, be a great finance manager and watch sport.
That's so true. We have so many books to study already, yet we want some recommendations from you. Can you recommend 1 or 2 books for us? We're all aspiring to be business leaders in real life.
Now, when they said there's going to be difficult questions coming, that was it. They're assuming I've read a lot of books. I'm very good at starting books. So I'm not the best person to ask about finishing books. And because I've not been in management mainstream, so a lot of my colleagues who've been in the management mainstream, they've read a lot of books, they've benefited from those. I haven't, I'll be very honest, it's a shortcoming of mine. But if you want to read a book, I'll use this occasion to plug my wife's book. Please read Equally Yet Different. It's a very insightful book on how women shape careers. It was an eye-opener for me.
I thought we'll see the winning race, but that's also good.
No, I mean, she wrote a major part of that book too. But that at least I was on thoda home ground with sport. But she was very tough to work with.
Sure, sir.
She made me rewrite so much.
Coming back to your campus life, can you share any one incident, any one moment?
दूरबीन है, उल्टे दूरबीन से देखूंगा, उतने साल हो गए.
Any one moment that distinctly shaped you, the person that you are right now?
I think surviving here, which I went through a very small phase where I was afraid that I won't survive because this world was way too competitive. It was beyond anything that I'd ever seen before. Even when I played cricket, I wasn't very competitive as such, except when I was fielding, which is a small part of the game. So I wasn't very competitive. I didn't allow myself to become the best cricketer I could have become because I wasn't competitive in that sense. Only towards the late stage when I was finishing college, and I became that kind of player. But I was never that competitive. And so then I came here and I just looked at people around and the drive that they had and how competitive they were. And I was this nice, small town, happy guy, you know. So just being accepted here and surviving here was huge for me.
Fielding is important. Sky will differ from you.
No, but it's a hidden thing. You save 10 runs in the field.
Exactly.
Matches turn on 10 runs. But also it lifts the side. A good fielder lifts the side.
Sure.
Yes.
And now it's a non-negotiable anyway. It's a non-negotiable. At that level, it's a non-negotiable.
Truly. So let's switch back to cricket again. I mean, India has won like 3 finals in this century. Which final, if you would get a chance to commentate, which final would you choose?
7.
2007. Why and why?
Because 2007 shaped the game. 2007 was a journey into the unknown. And 2007 will stay in posterity as the event that changed the face of our game through success in that event which led to the IPL that has completely revolutionized our game. So 2007 would have been fun. Of course, I mean, it is my ambition in life to call India winning a World Cup, but I'm making peace with the fact that won't happen.
Yeah.
But 2011, I would have loved to have called India winning the 2023 World Cup, 50th World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, it would be monumental, India winning in the home soil.
Because India did something, India played the most thrilling one-day cricket I've ever seen in my life.
Very dominating.
So India opened minds. India changed among themselves the manner in which they were playing cricket through a leader who said, we will take the individual achievement out of the window and each play for each other, and I will play that way. I will walk the talk and I will play that way. Because as a country, we are obsessed with individual milestones.
True.
And T20 is, the reason I like T20 is there is no room for individual milestones in T20.
True. Because I was also very distraught when India lost the finals.
It's only a game though.
Yeah, in the end. Yeah, sorry, the game, yes.
Yeah.
But I had a follow-up question with this T20. Do you agree that the T20 World Cup, it should be called the T20 World Cup because it's held after every 2 years? I mean, because the World Cup is just the 50-over World Cup.
It's just that in our mind, we've started to think World Cup is 4 years.
Yes.
Because it's 4 years, is a cycle. We follow football World Cup is 4 years, the Olympics are 4 years, the Cricket World Cup is 4 years. So in our mind, we've got 4 years. But this game moves so fast.
Yes.
I don't mind a World Cup every 2 years in T20. in 4 years, the game would have changed character so much.
Yes.
True, and the years that you talked about were transforming for Indian cricket altogether. Are there any specific moments in Indian cricket sporting history that you can recall? I mean, which are your favorites? You want to talk about any stories there?
As a child, for me, it was 1971. I was a little child, and India went to England and won. And through successive influences of colonization, we had always been told that the English are better than you. And so for an Indian team to go to England and win in 71 for my generation was like, wow, man, we can do it too. Because, as I said, through so many years of colonization, that we had lost our confidence. We were always told that they were better than us. And so to go and win in England was very, very special. Winning Australia, the two great series, neither of which I was present at actually. One because of COVID, which was India winning in Australia in 21, one of the great
That was
series.
monumental.
Going to Pakistan winning in 2004 was just as big.
When
Test match, right?
Sourav Ganguly was captain.
India won both the Test match series and the ODI series. Going to Pakistan winning 2004. And it's the one tour I would have absolutely loved to be on, because not only was the cricket fantastic, but people were starting to come closer, and for the first time it showed that people-to-people contact was working. So I enjoyed the fact that people were coming together. Then in 2006, Pakistan came to India. People in Chandigarh opened their houses, people stayed in houses, and then the people-to-people contact was getting better and better, and we lost that.
We lost that 4-2, if I'm...
No, we lost the people-to-people contact.
Actually, we lost the people. Yes.
No, we won in 2004, we won both.
2006 we lost.
Yeah.
When Pakistan
Came to India.
But before that, we never went to Pakistan and won.
Yeah.
So 2004 was big, 71 was huge, and 2021 was just the most incredible cricket. I mean, you make a movie and people will think that you're talking through your hat. If you look at 2021, even in fiction, you cannot imagine what happened on the ground in 2021.
All right.
Inspiring, sir. My next question is on stress management. You know how stressful an MBA life is for a student. So, what did you used to do to stress yourself during your time?
I wish I knew. I wish I knew in that period, because as I told you, I was so afraid that I'd be sent back. So I wish I knew how to handle stress. I would never have gone through that fear at all, because I spent too much time fearing when I could have just spent that time studying and doing well. But each of us must find out what it is that calms us, because when you're calm, you're focused. When you're focused, you're very good at what you do. But each of us has to find what de-stresses us. Some people actually love stress because they think they're up in the middle of it all. Then you've got to find your own way to recover from that stress, because stress is a situation your body doesn't like to be in all the time. So if stress brings out the best in you, deadlines bring out the best in you, then find a way to de-stress after that. How it is, I don't know. I'm not a guru, man. I have no idea.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. So yeah, that's a very, very thoughtful answer. I mean, I would love to share this, that Harsha. Yeah, but yeah.
I have no idea. Because eventually we only know ourselves, no?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what will work for you. I don't know what will work for you.
Yes, there's
You
no
know what will work for you.
standardized, yeah, there's no standard form.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The
And-
takeaways, yeah. I mean,
And I think while we study quantitative methods, while we study finance, increasingly, that's one thing I forgot to mention in the talk, that even institutes must constantly be reinventing themselves to stay relevant. IIM Ahmedabad has to stay relevant. IIM Ahmedabad cannot say we started in 1962, 63, whatever, we've been the best institute since. No, you've got to be the best institute today and 5 years from now and 10 years from now. So you've got to keep reinventing yourself all the time. Well, I hope the institute can do that. So why I was saying that was, you need to study AI, you need to study the impact of AI on businesses, you need to study finance and different forms of financing. How is the new world relating to that? You need to have marketing, different sales techniques to reach different people, different routes, different distribution channels. But you also need to understand who is the person who's able to do that the best. Do we spend enough time studying people? Because when you become leaders, which you must, strategy, tactics will be important for you, but far more important will be handling people. And I sometimes fear that the gadgets in your lives will take you away from understanding people. how often do you spend evenings doing nothing? Just in the company of each other?
I don't remember that.
Very rarely.
So
Very rare.
is the phone a means of communication or a means of distancing?
I think it's a mean of distancing now, these days actually.
So, I mean, the only reason I asked that was that you'll have to understand people as leaders. And the great leaders are people who know how to get the best out of people. You get the best out of people by being able to relate to them, by understanding them, by knowing what works for them, because no two people are the same. Will you give yourself enough time to understand people? And if you don't know how to understand people at this stage, how will you, when you become leaders, learn to understand people if already you're distancing yourself from each other? So that is something that worries me about the gadget and social media driven generation.
True, sir.
True. Thank you very much for all those amazing responses.
This is the formal thank you bit coming up, right? I love this.
Yeah, but beyond the formality, we all are truly mesmerized, and there are so many takeaways, so many words of wisdom from your end. We as a batch are truly grateful that you are here with the PGPX batch here today. And any last final parting words?
I'm not dying. No, I'm just joking, sorry. No, not yet at least. But have fun in life. We only live once. I think from time to time we have to remind ourselves we live once. That's it, we only live once. So we have a very short span of life in this world, no? Can we maximize the time that we have? And how we maximize the time is... Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Sorry. No. But we've got to find ways of maximizing life. And it's easy for me to say that because I've got few years left than I have achieved already. But well, you only live once, man. You must have fun. You're blessed to have all your faculties with you. You're blessed to be studying in this place. Just enjoy life.
We sure will remember this.
Yes, you must enjoy life.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It's a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks.